So let's talk about this and let's make ourselves clear. Okay, we did this as a 7th grade teach just recently. Okay, we just did this and we did it a different way. Okay, we did it. Mr. Brooks showed you one way when he subbed for me. Okay, right? Or I think. And then one that I showed you a different way. And we mainly did it for 7th grade. You need to do it as a net. Okay, that's the T. That's how they want you to find it, is from a net. In 8th grade, they want you to find it from the 3D shape, okay? And they give you a formula. So it's the same thing, but they give you a shape and they give you a formula. So we're going to do it with the shape, the 3D shape, and the formula today. Is it easier the other ways? Maybe. Does that make sense? But today, that's the way we're doing it. That's the way they teach it. If you feel better about it the other way, do it the other way. Okay. So there's 2 formulas on the formula chart, and this lateral surface area, remember, lateral surface area does not include the bases. It is everything but the bases. Total surface area is every piece. So lateral surface area is big P times H. Now, big P is a new letter. That's the perimeter of the base. Okay, perimeter of the base means the distance around the outside of it. And we're going to talk about that more in just a minute. We know what H stands for, and we know what B stands for, area of the base, okay? So total surface area uses this same piece right here, and once you find that answer, you can just plug it in, okay? Same formula, and then you add 2 times the area of the base, okay? So I'm gonna show you, but I need you to give me a second to do a couple of examples before you start getting your mind blown, okay? So my first example, it does not define the bases on the rectangular prism. It's not telling you what the base is. So I'm gonna designate the base is whatever it's sitting on for this paper only. Does that make sense? Are you with me? Okay. So we're gonna designate the base for this paper only as what it's sitting on if it's a rectangular prism. Are we clear about that? Okay. So the bases, I just highlighted them in blue. So the perimeter, the big P times H, perimeter of the base. Well, the base perimeter is 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3. So 7 plus 7, which is 14. Okay, so perimeter is 14. The height is the distance between the 2 bases. So this is a base and this is a base right here. So the distance between the 2 bases is the 2. You see where I got that from? Okay, so 14 times 2 is 28. So the lateral surface area is 28. Pretty simple, right? Okay, what? The perimeter of the base times the height. Okay, so now we're going to take this 28, and I hope that I feel confident in my answer, because I'm going to use that number again. If it was wrong the first time and then I use it again on the total surface area, it's in the folder, it's going to be wrong twice. Does that make sense? So I hope I'm right. So 28 is my pH plus 2 times the area of the base. Well, we got inside the base was 4 times 3. So 4 times 3. Do you see what I did there? Okay, I found the area of that base. So 4 times 3 is what? 12. So 28 plus 2 times 12. 2 times 12 is? 52. 28 plus 24 is 52. And we're going to be meters squared because remember we're back to surface area. So we're jumping back and forth. You got to make sure you know which one you're in. Okay? Not too bad. Okay? So let's do number 1. So lateral surface area, okay, is pH. And I just told you that for this paper only, we are designating the bases as the ones it's sitting on. So that's the base, and that's the base, okay? So the perimeter of the base is 3 plus 7, and then 3 plus 7. So 20, right, times the height, which is 3. Okay, 20 times 3 is what? 60. 60 centimeters squared. Okay, so far so good, right? Now, TSA is pH plus 2 times the area of the base. Well, this, we already found pH. We got it as 60 from 2 times the area of the base. The base of a rectangle is length times width. So 3 times 7. What's 3 times 7? 21 times 2 plus 60. 42 plus 60. 102 centimeters squared. Am I going too fast? Yes? Okay. So, you should have gotten those 2 things. So, let's go over here to number 2. LSA is big P times H. Okay. So, the perimeter of the base times the height between the bases. Okay, perimeter is 8 plus 10, which is 18, right? Plus 8 is 26, plus 10 is 36. Do you see where I got that number from? Okay, so 36 times the height, which is 2, which should be the other number that you have, honestly, except for maybe on a triangular prism, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So 36 times 2 is 72, and it's inches squared. Okay? Now, my next formula takes that first part and then adds in the 2 times the area of the base. Okay, so 72 plus 2. Okay, base times height is how I find the area of the base, right? So my base is 8 times 10. Okay, 8 times 10 is what? 80 times 2 plus 72. 80 times 2 is?
160.
Okay, 160 plus 72 is 232 inches squared. Not too bad, right? Okay. Now here's where it's going to be a little bit more complicated. But on the notes, it's all right triangle, so that's a little bit easier. But it's going to be a little bit more complicated. So I really need you paying attention again. And you don't have to write this down. If you can watch and then maybe write the next one, that's okay. I don't have to have every bit of your notes. I want you to do what works best for you. So if watching one and then writing one, does that make sense? I'm a writer. I do better listening, watching, and writing. But I need all 3. Some of y'all may not need all 3. I don't care if your notes are all filled in if you understand what's going on. Are you with me? Because some of y'all get caught up in the writing, and you may not necessarily even need it. Because a lot of y'all, how many of y'all look back at your notes? A few. Okay. Okay, so LSA. Okay, perimeter times the height. Now, this is a what? What shape is this? A triangular.
Prism.
So it's different. The base is a triangle. So the perimeter of the base is those 3 sides. Now, you have to know about a triangle. What do we know about a right triangle? If I draw it right here, here's my right triangle. This is the hypotenuse, okay? Is that a base or a height? No, it's a distance between the lines. So we need to use the ones that have the right connected to the right triangle for our numbers. But let's do perimeter of the base first. So perimeter is 3 plus 4, which is?
7.
Plus 5 is?
12.
12 times the height between bases is? 8. 12 times 8 is? 96 centimeters squared. Yes?
So do we need the 5?
You need it for perimeter, yes. We just use it in the perimeter. You don't need it for anything else other than perimeter. So now, TSA is pH plus 2B. So you use your 96 again. Now, you don't need it for area of the base. The 5 is not used except for perimeter, okay? So the area of the base is your base times your height divided by 2, right? Okay? I'm going to write this right here because it just needs to be shown. So I showed the other guys, and I hope that y'all understand this. Technically, this and this are canceling because we're dividing by 2 and then turning around and multiplying by 2. it's the same thing, right? Does that make sense? So I'm just going to knock it out. When I have a triangle, I do that, okay? So I'm just going to do base times height here. My base is the base of the triangle, which is this piece right here. Okay, my height, remember we talked about height several times. It has to be straight. This is not a straight line. It looks like a straight line right now. Does that make sense? But it's not going from bottom to top. So our base is 3. Our height is 4. Okay, so 3 times 4 is 12. Times 2 plus... Oh, I did cancel it. I'm sorry. Look, you're even better. I did cancel it. So 12 times 90 plus 96 is 108. I was used to writing it a while ago. Okay. Okay. So let's look at this one. You ready? LSA. Perimeter times height. It's another right triangle. Okay. So perimeter of the base. Okay, my base is on my triangle, or 15. Okay, this side is 17 because this side is 17. Do you know they match, right? So 15 plus 17 is 32. Plus 8 is 40. So 40 is my perimeter times the height, which is 9. That's the height of my triangle. The height on a prism is the distance between the two bases. Okay, so like here's my base right here. Here's my base right here. So the distance between those two is right there, right? If you think about a triangular prism, if my bases are here, the height is the difference between the two. Okay, so this is 360 millimeters squared. TSA is perimeter times height plus 2b. Okay, so I'm going to take this 360 and I'm going to do area of the base. It's a triangle again, so I'm going to do 15 times 8 . Okay, so I'm going to mark out this because that's really canceling each other. And then I'm going to go 15 times 8 is 120. 120 plus 360 is 480 millimeters squared. Okay. Oh, man. 26.